Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. I'm Catherine with the NeoCyber Institute. I know it's been a while, but Madeline and I have been working hard on expanding NeoCyber. We're currently recruiting student members, so if you're interested, join our Discord. The link will be in the description. We teach workshops on cybersecurity training and capture the flag techniques, as well as host general discussions about anything a high school student interested in cyber would need to know. We're also working on creating information, training, and resources for professionals beginning to strengthen their systems, to be released shortly. But today we're going to talk about how a 17-year-old hacked Twitter, gaining access to accounts belonging to Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Michael Bloomberg, and Elon Musk. Graham Clark of Florida has been charged as the quote-unquote mastermind of the attack with 30 felony charges. He is being treated as an adult and has currently pled not guilty. His partners, 22-year-old Nima Fazeli, 19-year-old Mason Shepard, and another minor, have been imprisoned as well for their parts in the hack. First, let's talk about what happened during the attack. On July 15th, high-profile Twitter accounts were hacked, including those of Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Apple, in addition to the ones I mentioned earlier. Each account tweeted the message you see on the screen, saying they would double Bitcoin donations people sent in to a particular account. In total, people sent in more than $100,000 USD in Bitcoin. Of course, no one received any money back. That goes without saying. There's also evidence that the hackers downloaded the personal information of 7 or 8 accounts through the Your Twitter Data download feature. So how did they do it? According to Twitter, they used spearfishing. You've probably heard us on this channel or someone elsewhere mentioning spearfishing, so I'm going to briefly explain it. Spearfishing is effectively targeted phishing. The attacker pretends to be anyone the victim trusts and tries to get them to hand over their credentials. These attacks can range from posing as a coworker to a family member to a bank or other company. For example, one could write a personalized email from quote-unquote Amazon, which says something like, "Your account is compromised, use the provided link to log in again," but the link is actually a password capturer. Spearfishing is different from general phishing because it's more purposeful and more personal. With normal phishing, the attacker will cast a so-called wide net, knowing that a very small percentage of people will fall for the scam. That's why you might get spam or phishing emails that doesn't seem designed for you. Even if you personally would never fall for it and it seems ridiculous, a large enough percentage of the population will that the attacker thinks it's worth it. So that's regular phishing, targeting as many people as possible but not very deeply. Think of the Nigerian prince scam. Spearfishing, as I described earlier, is very personal and will involve a more well-researched attack. These attacks are usually more useful for getting access into a company. In the case of the Twitter hack, we believe Clark and his group successfully spearphished certain workers at Twitter, gaining credentials and further permissions through the company's Slack channel. They were ultimately able to get access to the customer service portal from which the attacks took place. These hackers began with lower-level employees and eventually coerced others to grant them access to internal systems, such as the aforementioned Slack channel. This is called privilege escalation. Hackers will begin with an innocuous foothold on the computer, but slowly increase in privileges all the way up to restricted access. And I know I said computer, but this works also for networks, companies, anything like that. There are 2 kinds of privilege escalation, horizontal and vertical. Horizontal escalation involves accessing other accounts on a similar clearance level to the original. It would be like accessing your friend's Gmail account through your Gmail account. It can't do very much more than yours in terms of functionality, but might have other contacts, information, and links to other people. Vertical escalation is usually the more dangerous one. It involves traveling up the access ladder. So the hacker might start with a user account and end up with an administrator's or even more privileged role. Often, like in this Twitter hack, the privilege escalation itself isn't the main goal, only a way to accomplish the larger task. In this case, that larger task was to access influential accounts and run a Bitcoin scam. If you're an IT administrator or security professional, this Twitter hack likely has you a little worried. If a major company can get hacked this badly, what's stopping someone from getting into your systems? The good thing is that this hack, at least, could have been preventable with the right training. Make sure everyone affiliated with the company knows how to spot a phishing attack, even a very personalized one. Make sure employees have a good relationship with the technology and security department so that they can really understand and appreciate the importance of cybersecurity. It all comes down to building a security culture within the organization and a widespread desire to keep everyone safe. When people understand the consequences of a breach, they're more likely to do their part in protecting the company and watching out. Another good thing to do is to prevent permissions creep within the company. This is a term referring to when someone has a certain level of access and they change jobs but not their access level. Effectively, it's somebody having more permissions than they should. Often, when being transferred, people won't relinquish their keys or access out of a feeling that they own the right to keep their previous privileges. It would be like if somebody was an administrator of a particular building and had the keys to it. Then they're transferred to a different building, but they keep the original keys. This creates a security breach because they now own access to something that should be restricted to them. It's very important that the employee knows it isn't because the company doesn't trust them, it's simply an important safety standard that everyone should adhere to. If someone who engaged in this permissions creep was hacked, the attacker would have an even easier time of escalating privileges than they would normally. So for example, if the person I just mentioned was hacked, the attacker would then have the keys to 2 buildings instead of just the one the person currently works at. It's like giving a nice surprise to the hacker. So preventing permissions creep is an important part of security. One way to do this is to make sure when firing someone or transferring them, change passwords, take back keys, do things like that. So how did this attack affect Twitter and those who were hacked? For one, Twitter had to suspend or temporarily lock certain accounts during and after the attack. Currently, Twitter is restricting internal access to many of their systems. Users can no longer access the Your Twitter Data download feature. Thankfully, Twitter is reportedly working to bolster their security, but we all need to remember that your security should be preventative as well as reactive. We hope that you all enjoyed this video and learned something. Be sure to check out our website for more resources for both students and professionals. If you're a student, we invite you to join our Discord server to connect with other students also interested in cyber. As always, we've left links to more information down in the description. This is Catherine from the NeoCyber Institute. Thanks for watching.